definitely there should be one episode.
Me? The threesome.
Orafu wa comedy boom ne de.
Yeah.
Nyansa.
Don't fuck.
Lighter.
With myself, Oforiwa.
I'm Jason Alay, and I do this with the man,
DJ Varosky.
Why the party there today? Hey mama, hey I ever say.
And you're welcome back to the AM Club on MX34 TV. We're having so much fun. Let me remind you that Ice Cream Fair is on. It's happening. The Time Freeze edition is happening. All day and into the night, we are freezing time with all your favorite ice cream flavors from Accra's finest ice cream vendors. Now get ready for the live music, the photo ops, the giveaways, the games, and more of those fun activities you and the family can enjoy. The Ice Cream Fair is on Boxing Day, that's the 26th of December 2021. Get a stand now. Please call 055-8077-440, 055-8077-440, or follow us at Ice Cream Fair Ghana on social media to stay posted. The Ice Cream Fair 2021, hashtag the Time Freeze edition, powered by ACK Event and MX24. It's now time for Lifestyle Daily, our topical discussion, and today we are having a conversation on Metaverse. Is it the new reality? Now, the technology will never cease to amaze us. It always unravels new possibilities around virtual social engagement, gaming, entertainment, and work life. Imagine walking down the street and suddenly you think of a product you need. Immediately next to you, a vending machine appears filled with the product and variations you are thinking of. You stop, pick an item from the vending machine, it is shipped to your house, and then continue on your way. Amazing, isn't it? Recently, in October 2021, Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook will be changing its name to Meta. And since then, people have been asking questions about the Metaverse. What exactly is it? Why is it even a thing? How do you even access it? We will be delving into that conversation today, and Edma is standing by for that. Edma?
Thank you very much, Godwin, for that introduction. And before we start the conversation, let us know what you think about today's topic for Lifestyle Daily. Send it to our WhatsApp number at 0550-331-511. Let us know, are you for or against the Metaverse? Do you think it is a progress towards something great to our society? Can we even implement it here in Ghana? Let us know whilst you follow the conversation and get to know exactly what it is. But joining me on this conversation, we have Del P, who is a tech YouTuber. He's been on the show before, so he's already an AM Club member. And we have Queen Zafar. Did I pronounce that right? Zafar, okay, who is a digital art director and mixed reality design specialist. I've seen your work on Instagram. I was blown away by it. I was like, oh God, he's already there. He's already in the future. But anyways, guys, today we're going to be talking about the Metaverse and if it's a reality or not, and how, if it is a reality, Ghanaians can also implement it to, I don't know, maybe boost our economy. You never know. But then, welcome, gentlemen, to the AM Club. By the way, Queen, right? Quinn, you are now officially an AM Club member. Let me just put that out there. So it comes with a great deal being a club member. Delphi will tell you. But so let me ask you, Delphi, first. Explain what the Metaverse is, like you would explain to a child. So very, very simply explain what a Metaverse is.
Okay, so the word metaverse itself is a combination of two words,
okay,
which is meta itself and then the universe.
Yeah.
Now, the universe in this case becomes the virtual reality. So it's composed of one virtual reality, augmented reality, and then the internet. So you need all of these three things to be able to have the metaverse. And so, I mean, they correlate. So you can't have one without the other. So all these three will give you what the metaverse actually is.
Okay, and Queen. Hey, Quinn. So, what is your understanding of what the metaverse is?
I think the metaverse is Internet 3.0. It's the first step into answering the question that we all had during COVID, which was, how do I still engage online but have real life experiences? So the metaverse is what enables us to seek out that bridge between both online and in person.
Okay, so basically you say that the metaverse is a visual reality, or is it different from a visual reality?
I think the metaverse incorporates virtual reality, but then is not limited to mainly virtual reality. But that's definitely one way that you can interact with the metaverse.
Okay, all right. So now when it comes to what it is, we know what it is. And a lot of people got to know about it when Mark Zuckerberg came out to say that, you know what, he's changing his whole company and, you know, moving towards the metaverse. So people thought maybe he's the one who created it. But then is it created by him, or there are other companies who also do it?
The metaverse was not created by Mark Zuckerberg. I think Mark Zuckerberg was inspired by the metaverse. The metaverse actually has been created by many developers, by the game developers, coders, and designers way before Meta changed its name, or Facebook changed its name to Meta. And Mark Zuckerberg happens to just be one of the people that was inspired.
Please speak up just a little bit for me. I know he has a very soft voice, but just speak up just a little bit for me.
So Mark Zuckerberg was 100% inspired by the metaverse. It was there beforehand, made and curated and engaged with by many developers and many other coders and designers alike to share experiences and to engage with a more integrated version of the internet. So it was there before.
It was there before. He didn't invent it. Do you have anything to say about that, DLP?
So it basically started from an author.
Okay.
He goes by the name Neil Stevenson.
Okay. Please speak up as well.
So it's begun from an author.
Okay.
He goes by the name Neil Stevenson.
Okay.
He came up with the word. He coined the word metaverse itself.
Okay.
And his belief was to have these three-dimensional, you know, beings who interact with each other. So he basically began it.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't begin it, but because he's an author,
Yeah.
he came up with that word,
Yeah.
and then it took off from there.
Okay, all right. So now when it comes to the internet that we need to use for metaverse, what kind of internet do we need to use? Is it the usual internet that we know of or that we use, or there's a specific internet that we need to use for it?
Okay, so I mean, there are no specifics. The internet is just basically the internet. But as to the speed with which it comes with, because you know, going into things like that will require high megabits of speed from internet service providers to be able to access it smoothly. Because I mean, here in Ghana, even if you're playing games online, you see how it lags and then all that with lower pings and all that. So the internet is not, you know, much specific to one specific kind of internet. But then you need internet with high speed connectivity, just for starters. So maybe 4G internet would be good. But here in Ghana, our 4G internet is not something. I don't know if it's 4G or not, but I mean, so definitely that would be a starting point.
Okay, so Quinn. I'm so sorry, but you being a mixed reality design specialist, what would you have to say about that? I know that you need to use internet to do your work as well. So would you say that the internet that we use is going to be the same thing that we have to use for the metaverse? I mean, Del P just explained that we need a very high-speed internet. But then with you being in the job that you're in, how do you manage that? But then my question is even all over the place. Would you basically need the internet to basically function the metaverse the way it's supposed to be functioning here in Ghana?
You do need stable internet connection.
Okay.
And one thing that I do in my organization is I pride myself on digital innovation through cultural empathy. So the difference between engaging with the metaverse in Ghana and, let's say, the States or the UK is that in Ghana we are communal. So every Ghanaian knows either your neighbor, family name, etc., etc. So what you can do, rather than relying on each individual to have 4G networks, is that you rely on organizations to provide the stable Wi-Fi access. When you're in those environments, engaging with those organizations, that creates and banks on a communal aspect.
Okay.
And also enables us to actually dive into the metaverse with the stable, reliable Wi-Fi, but from people and organizations that have the capability to do that.
Okay.
So it's no longer individual.
Okay. So now my question to the both of you is, are you for or against the metaverse? And that is for you, Delphi.
So earlier on, my brother said there's no being aside for it.
Yeah.
So I can be against it and I can be for it.
So you're 50-50?
Yes, I'm 50-50.
Why are you 50-50?
You know, in a way, the metaverse is quite interesting. It's a cool thing to have, let me put it that way. And, you know, it has a bad side. Everything that much has their good sides and they have their bad sides as well. So, I mean, I'm 50 for the good side. I'm not 50 for the bad side.
Okay, what about you? Are you for or against it? Or maybe 50-50 in the middle like Delphi?
I don't think I can be for and or against it. I think much like any service that's provided, an experience that we come to, we're all given a choice as to how much we use it, when we use it, and how. So rather than seeing the metaverse as an add-on to our lives that we can be either against or for, I tend to go about it how we do with our phones. You can't be for or against smartphones, but you can be for right use of smartphones and for better use in our daily lives.
But the argument here is creating a virtual or visual or virtual universe. Wouldn't you also say that it goes against our society and our livelihood as human beings? I mean, we all witnessed what happened during the lockdown and how people were deprived from seeing one another and what it did to our psychological health as well. So would you say that creating a visual world or a virtual world that people wouldn't have physical contact with each other is a good thing for us human beings to eventually implement into our lives?
I think with the metaverse, the focal point is mixed reality. So integration from our internet-based lives and experiences into our real life. You need the real to be able to experience full breadth of what the metaverse is.
Okay.
So it's not to detach us, and we shouldn't be detached fully when engaging the metaverse, but we should integrate it as its nature is into our daily life.
Okay, and what about you, Delphi? What do you think?
So earlier on, before we came on set, I was discussing something with my brother, and he made mention that these VR headsets, which would be used to access the metaverse, is one thing that runs on battery. So no matter what, it's going to die off, and you're not going to definitely get that much addicted every time. You're going to have to charge it, and he was even mentioning the fact that you'd have to go to the grocery store to get some groceries and come and eat. I mean, you can't eat in the virtual reality, so. Yes.
I mean, you never know. It starts from somewhere. Listen, it starts from somewhere. I think I've watched too many science fiction movies to know that it always starts from somewhere and it develops as time goes on. And, you know, maybe in the near future, we wouldn't even eat physical food. We will probably eat electronic food, and that's going to be the thing that empowers us to have our energy. You never know. But then, at the end of the day, my point is, like you mentioned, there are good things about it and there are bad things about it, and the way we use it as human beings is what's going to determine for us as individuals if it's good or bad for us. But now let's move on to the big question, and it's how can Ghana take advantage of the metaverse and also use it to stimulate its economy, if we can?
I think Ghana has a very unique opportunity in engaging with the metaverse where we're positioned in a community that already is very communal. So we're all about interacting with each other, taking care of each other, moving as a community. And the metaverse is based on communal aspects.
Okay.
So in Ghana, for instance, we mentioned bad Wi-Fi, lights is a problem, etc., etc. Organizations now and people that create on the metaverse have the opportunity to use the metaverse for what it actually is used for. And Ghanaian lifestyle is very well fitting between that. We're very event-based. This weekend, some of you are going to a funeral and a birthday party and a wedding.
Yes.
All of this can be integrated in the metaverse. So now you can engage event-based situations with metaversal elements.
Without you physically being there.
To physically be there and augment you physically being there.
Even I think recently Zuckerberg had a meeting.
Yes.
And there were people there. So just like we're having this meeting here, we wouldn't have to be here in real life. I mean, we'll have to be in our
It's
homes.
like we can
and-
have something that projects
Yes,
you being
we
here, but
it's
you
an
really,
avatar.
yes,
we call
you're
them
not here.
avatars. So we'll be here and then we'll just be having our discussions.
So, but wouldn't that also sort of like breach the way we communicate to each other? Because, I mean, physical presence is also very important in terms of getting people's real reactions and emotions out of them. So just imagine we now implement this metaverse 3D meeting thing, for example, and we have the avatar of you here, but then not you exactly here. With technology, anything can happen. But then also, the fact that you're not physically here, I wouldn't maybe be able to get the real essence of our conversation than what, you know, I would have if you guys were actually here. So with that being said, would you say it's a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it has its advantage, but...
Yeah, I was saying that was one of the side effects. Because personally, from a personal standpoint, I make most of my friends online. So I've hardly met most of them in real life before. So putting it into virtual reality, I'm just going to be seeing people in the virtual reality or the metaverse, and I'm probably not ever going to ever meet them in real life.
But you're one of the very small percentage in Ghana that even know about these kind of things. I mean, I think the large population don't even have probably never even heard of Metaverse before and don't know what it eventually is. So let's just imagine our parents in the villages, our grandmas in the villages, and let's say we make this a national thing. How are they going to be able to implement it and eventually use it to benefit them as a person? I mean, the local farmer who's farming and, you know, trying to cultivate its produce, the teacher, I mean, teachers can use it actually, yeah. But then, you know, the people who work locally, how are they going to be able to use this new technology to eventually enrich themselves and better the economy as well?
So the beauty of the metaverse is it's not just virtual reality. There's also augmented reality, which is AR, which will thrive very well in Ghana. So, for example, you mentioned local workers, local economy. So, for example, let's say you run a kitchen.
Yeah.
And Mama G's kitchen wants to now engage with a larger audience because they're not getting as many sales. With augmented reality, you're now able to send your recipes to your clients, change your business model so that your recipes are now something that your clients can look at, they can make at home, but then with augmented reality, you can be there and you can lead your clients through the cooking process. So now Mama G is virtual. Now Mama G, even though she may be in the village...
Why is Delphi? Delphi, why are you looking at... Delphi is looking at you and looking at me like,
No, I'm really learning something else.
Okay,
So now Mama G in the village can now project virtually into any home in Ghana or the rest of the world.
But can't we just use Zoom for that?
You could use Zoom for that, but then how stable is your connection?
But you need stronger connection to maintain the metaverse.
The thing with the metaverse is they are making it in such a way that you feel the presence. I mean, you feel the people there. I mean, you feel like you are virtually
like a
there.
proper 3D
like
avatar.
You're having a conversation with them. You're seeing them like you are there. Like
seen
you're
in movies.
basically there. Yes. So that's
Stars.
yes.
A lot of popular Ghanaian stars and role models are actually investing in virtual avatars today to use in events in Ghana come December and the next 3 months as well. Tracy Success had a talk on the Metaverse just on Sunday and is actually developing a virtual avatar to engage with more of her audience.
Yeah, that's amazing. And in terms of what we see our reality as human beings with the pandemic, would you say that COVID has also pushed us to move more towards a virtual reality than maybe, let's say, 3 years ago or even just before COVID, pre-COVID? Would you say that the pandemic has pushed us to move more towards virtual reality?
I think 100% it has. I think the pandemic showed us more so how quickly things can change. But also our inherent need to be able to connect still at the same level, but also feel real experiences. So 100%.
Del P, don't you think that implementing the metaverse, especially when it comes to businesses, don't you think that it's going to have a more negative impact in terms of how the global economy works? Because we all are connected to one another. That's what the pandemic actually showed us last year. And having to, for example, work from home, having to not be in an actual office, building being built for offices who now nobody wants to occupy them because we can do this virtually. So what would be the impact globally if this metaverse is implemented?
So, like I started earlier on, I mean, there's a negative side and there's a positive side. Again, I was having a conversation with him and he was like, you can have an online store. Okay, so now you don't want to go to the shops to buy clothes any longer.
I mean, yes, e-commerce is a big thing. However, you know, going there yourself to have a feel of the material and everything. I mean, I remember one time when I was still in the UK and when Tesco introduced this self-checkout machines and a lot of workers were complaining about it, saying that it's taking their jobs because now Tesco has to let off so many people since they didn't physically need a human being to be there because a machine could do what a human being does. So it created a lot of conversation about are these machines taking labor from actual human beings who are losing their jobs. So this is how I'm looking at this whole metaverse. If it's going to come and replace certain things that used to benefit human beings, and then human beings will be left away because technology is now the way forward.
I think it's an interesting point to raise, but also with new jobs come new job opportunities. And those that were pushed out of a certain more physical job will engage with other forms of jobs. For instance, I'm not saying the person that was pushed out of being a teller in Tesco's is now a developer.
Exactly.
That's a bit of a reach. But the person pushed out of being a teller in Tesco's can easily become one of the storekeepers, one of the person that manages inventory. Those organizations tend to take care of their staff quite well and create other opportunities for them to thrive in. But more importantly, like my brother was saying, if you have an online store, that now activates and motivates even the youth. So for example, in Ghana, you very rarely go into physical stores anymore to buy anything. You go to Instagram and then you order it online, they deliver it to you. What the metaverse does, it takes the real life version of what you do and augment it in the digital to help you increase engagement, increase sales, and also increase your experience, the amount of experiences you can have. You said you want to feel the material, but what if I told you right now, you can go onto Vogue, Zara, and you can try out any of their augmented reality clothing live and see what it looks like on you without having to go there.
It's creepy. But no, that is definitely a good thing because, I mean, you're in the comfort of your home and you can shop in your homes and, you know, get to wear and try it on. And, I mean, it gives that sense of experience as well. Yes, I understand that. But then my point also is how the other people who used to do those jobs now are affected. And like you mentioned, I mean, a tailor at Tesco is not going to move on to a management opportunity or a management role overnight, you know, and obviously training a person to eventually reach a certain level of understanding when it comes to a particular device or even a particular industry. It's quite hard, and people need degrees for that these days. You know, you go to school and you get a degree for that. So I wouldn't, you know, if I was a tailor, I wouldn't eventually venture into IT because, like, I just need to go to school for that. I don't know anything about it. So then it puts them backwards again, in a sense that now our jobs have been taken away from us and we don't have the degree to eventually venture into something higher than what we already have, or a position higher than we already have. So what do we do? And like I said, it was a huge conversation in the UK. But now let's move on to eventually making sure that Ghanaians also know what it is and then know how to implement it when it comes to themselves, when it comes to the worker, the businessman, the normal family person, how they can implement it. So I'm going to start with you, the LP.
So getting into the metaverse basically means you need an access point. And the access point basically is the virtual reality headsets and the internet. So in order to actually transfer this knowledge to people. That's why we're having this show here. There are other shows, there are podcasts that are talking about it all the time. I mean, education is one thing that I believe could really put it out there to people. So if, you know, we're educating people, we're telling people about it, we're making sure people know about it, and, you know, it's like a topic comes trending in a bit, and we'll get used to it. I mean, technology doesn't start just like that. People have
We
to
haven't
learn
even
about it.
crossed or transitioned properly into this whole world of digitalization or the digital world here in Ghana. We want to now talk Metaverse. I mean, we'll get there eventually, but it will take time. So, what about you?
I think we are already engaging with it. I mean, we all use filters on Snapchat.
Yes, yeah.
We use filters on Instagram. We know how to edit our photos. We now, whenever we go to the event, we know that, oh, I need to take this shot because this shot really worked.
Yeah.
We already are engaging with metaversal aspects. So even in terms of video games,
Yes.
you have video game avatars.
Yes.
And gamers use them.
Yeah.
Even with, back to Snapchat, we use filters.
Yeah.
It's not our actual face. We have all sorts of different add-ons, and some people use for makeup. Some people turn themselves into frogs, which is questionable. But then we are already engaging. And I find that much like we didn't even question, I mean, we did in the beginning, the effect of smartphones.
Yeah.
We'll soon find ourselves engaging in the NFT almost naturally. So I think we are already engaging. There are lots of different aspects that we already have integrated into our lives.
Yeah, into our system now. Okay, well, thank you very much for this conversation. I had Delphi, who's a tech YouTuber, and Queen Zaffer, who is a digital art director and mixed reality design specialist, joining me on this conversation about the metaverse, if it's a reality or not. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on this conversation. But coming up next, we have The Plug. Do stay with us, do not go anywhere.